Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kitty Mary and in today's video I want to share some of the food that I eat on a daily basis. This is the video I'm making and I've made similar videos in the past to show that sustainable plant-based living can be super easy and tasty and you can make a million different kinds of dishes, and this is just some of the dishes that I make. So if you can take any motivation or inspiration from the recipes that I'm making in this video, feel free to do so. I've also left some additional recipes down below. If you guys want to learn more about plant-based living and how to become more seasonal, how to become just like more low waste in the way that you consume food, let's get right into it. So we're starting out strong today. Monday's lunch is leftovers. So I made this last night. Oh my god, I am also spilling on my white table cover. It's still good. I make at least 2 pasta dishes every single week. This is my favorite. I'll link a recipe down below. Usually I actually like to save the sauce and the pasta separately because I don't necessarily like cooked pasta the day after. I think it gets too soft. So usually I just save the leftover sauce that I sort of anticipate that I won't be eating for dinner, and then I'll make new pasta. I feel like not mixing your sauce and your pasta is a little bit of a sin. I don't know, just plain pasta only with sauce on top, not like mixed together, no. Usually I like to spend at least 6 hours cooking my pasta sauce to get like that deep flavor and to really use the flavor of the vegetables. This was a speed version. I think I spent 45 minutes and that was it. Also, I painted the bowl myself. I'll finish this up and I'll see you tomorrow. Also, I save all my leftovers super easily in these stainless steel containers. Hello guys and happy Tuesday. I am so ready for lunch. First of all, just an introduction to what we're having today. It's kind of leftovers, but only 50% leftovers. That doesn't make any sense. So yesterday I made this red curry soup. It has silken tofu, it has ginger, garlic, red curry, lots of chili, coconut milk and rice noodles. I am always in such a good mood when I know this is what I'll be having. So I made a huge portion so I have enough for lunch today. And next to it, in my little container, I have a little bit of rice and a little bit of spring onion. When I make stuff like this, I love to add more vegetables into my soup, but I hate, just like with pasta, I think the texture of vegetables that has sort of been soaking in liquid throughout the night, I don't think it's that appetizing. So I saved the other vegetables so I can add them in fresh today. So we have peas and we have a pak choi. Let's prepare this food and okay, yes. So it's just incredibly dark today. It's just a really gloomy, rainy day, which makes it perfect for soup. I'm just gonna heat this up in my wok. I like to keep my pak choi pieces pretty big so I can really feel them in the soup. So usually just I'll cut them 2 or 3 times down the middle and that'll be it. Pak choi are also great for regrowing, so I made this yesterday so I can give you guys updates through the week to see if it grows. I'll also add my rice and the rest of the spring onion as garnish. I'm also just gonna add a little bit of extra chili to the soup. I made it yesterday so that both Jens and I could actually enjoy it, and I like things usually just a little bit more spicy than he does, so we're just gonna add in a little bit more to sort of revive this. Okay. I made a big bowl. The biggest bowl, in fact, topped off with spring onion and sesame seeds, and I am so ready to have some lunch. Now with it, I am having just a bit of this like soda pop called lemonade, which is really nice and fair trade as well. I picked this up while I was out running errands today. Anyway, if you don't know, I say recently, like in April, I moved into this house, which I love, but the house is on top of a hill. Over the past few months, I have been really reluctant to go out on multiple errands because I have to bike up the hill. Normally I don't feel like a lazy person, but I've just been so, I have to go up the hill now, which is an annoying energy. I don't like having that energy. So I decided to buy an e-bike. I tried an e-bike for the first time in Germany and it was such fun. It was like a mountain bike thing, so it's completely different. But I decided that I wanted to make life a little bit easier for myself So I went on Facebook Marketplace and I found an e-bike and I love it. I love it so much. So additionally, there's another issue with the bike that I have that I will still use. It's indeed very much a summer dry weather kind of bike, because whenever there's just like a smidge of water on the road, when you bike, when the wheels turn, it splashes all the water onto your back, and there's really not a way of combating that. It's just like the design. So like for fun, I've just called it a dry weather bike, but in the long haul, when we're not getting a car, that's not really sustainable in that way. So now I can drive the old bike. Jessie is her name, she's red and feisty. I can drive Jessie around in the summertime, in the springtime, when there's dry and no like moisture. And for winter, autumn time, I can use the e-bike that also doesn't completely soak me whenever it's just a little bit rainy out. What the name of the bike should be. I just think it's easier to refer to something with a name. And I've been thinking a lot about it. The previous bike, which is like feisty and cool and edgy, I named Jessie after Team Rocket. And this new bike is actually blue. So I have to name him James, right? I just have to. Okay, so I think that's what we're gonna do. Anyway, this video is about food. I just forgot that for a second. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, it's another day, it's another lunch, and today I'm actually cooking from scratch and not just showing you leftovers. So I just went to the farmer's market, just drop my elbow there, cool. And we have broccoli, so that's just gonna be like the star of the show. We also have tomatoes, these are so great. Then I have some pasta, so it's gonna be a pasta dish today because I have like this great base recipe that I make all the time, and then I just add whatever other veggies I have, add those in. Base flavors are olive oil, lemon juice, garlic, and parsley. And then I just add in whatever vegetables that I have. It's so great. So we're gonna make that, we're gonna prep some things. We have some onion, we're gonna cut that. We have some garlic, we're gonna cut that. We have some parsley, we're gonna cut that. And then our vegetables. Okay, cool. Let's go. Ignore the leaves in the background. I am drying them for a photo shoot. But here is our ingredients. I also have a little bit of vegan cream that we can use. So the great thing about this recipe as well is that now I'm making it and then eating it straight after. But usually when I know I have to be out or I have to like work outside from my home, I'll make this in the evening actually and just have it in a microwave safe container, and then I'll just heat it up later. If I'm doing that, I want to undercook the pasta just a tiny bit so the pasta doesn't get soggy the day after. So just right above al dente, and then you should be good to go. So sometimes, especially if I'm busy and I have other things that I want to do, I am prepping all my vegetables in advance so I can just go straight to cooking. I don't know why I'm using the tiniest knife of all time, by the way. I usually do everything with this knife because it's so much more efficient. So now, okay, we are back in business, baby. Reheated after. If I'm doing that as well, just be warned, don't cook the parsley with the pasta, but wait and then add the parsley on top. If the parsley isn't cooked right, or just generally like reheating things like many leafy greens, parsley, spinach, etc., it can make you really sick because of the earth bacteria that's present in it. So if you do that, do be aware that you don't reheat spinach or parsley, but add it on top as garnish or sprinkles. These are really, really nice. They are Danish, so I do assume that they're from a greenhouse. I mean, they are from a greenhouse because it's November right now, so like, hello, good morning. And usually I will try to eat a little bit more seasonally than that. But I just had this craving for tomatoes, and especially like the scent of them. I don't know if that's relatable. The scent of tomatoes, honestly, you know, like just a tomato, salt and pepper on a piece of toast, like a sourdough, you're good to go. That's literally so good. But we're gonna cook it into some pasta now. I do love adding fresh tomatoes and letting that sort of like stir into the sauce rather than using canned tomatoes for this. I think the texture is just a little bit different in a nice way. Anyway, I went to the farmer's market today for the first time with my new bike, and it was just such a pleasure. I had no problem getting up that really steep hill, even with tons of vegetables, no problem. I was in heaven for sure. It's gonna be much easier running errands and just going to thrift shops because I can actually have some things with me home now. I think I just want to cook the broccoli just a tiny bit, so we'll add that in almost when we're finished, just so it doesn't overcook. I do like when my broccoli has just a tiny bit of, you know, like bite to it, so it doesn't get too soft. I don't know, like hearing myself talk about these things like textures, I can really feel like I might be a little bit more texture sensitive than I sometimes realize. I don't know, just like very insightful about myself for a second. I don't know about very insightful, just mapping out what you like and don't like is necessarily insightful, get it? Anyway, we have some pasta water, salty as the sea. Just gonna stir my onions here for a while. Am I the only one who just does not get just the proper or like appropriate amounts of pasta for a person? Either I cook way too much or way too little. Frying the onion and the garlic in olive oil, and once they have like probably nicely browned up, we are gonna add the tomatoes and gonna let them really cook for a long time so they become a little bit saucy. So Loki just decided that I wanted to take the onions and the tomato and just blend them to make a nice creamy sauce. Add the cream in, add some lemon in, and then turn that over with a little bit of pasta water. Then add the broccoli and then add the parsley, etc. But just to give this dish a little bit more creaminess, this is what we're gonna do. 1 second. Let's blend this up. And we have the beginning of a super creamy sauce. 1, 2, what are we doing? 3. Often when I just need to use lemon juice in a dish, I will use this lemon juice in a glass bottle. That works really, really well. But for dishes like this, I love adding lemon zest as well. And for that, we're using, you know, an actual lemon. It brings out another type of acidity, in my opinion. It cannot be substituted for anything else. You know what? Now that we're at it, we might as well add the rest of the seasoning. We're gonna do a generous amount of pepper, and we're gonna do nutmeg. I don't think I've ever cooked pasta without nutmeg, so obviously just same grate as the lemon. I haven't salted the sauce at all yet because I want to wait with that until we've used the pasta water, which is salty already. So in order to not over salt everything, I'm gonna wait. I love making, you know, like the tiny little mountain of pasta in the middle. Ooh, da, 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 da. Here we have the pasta. I just added some more lemon zest and some freshly ground pepper on top. I'm back, we're here again, and I am ready for my lunch. The pasta feels perfectly al dente, which is what we want. Okay. Parsley in pasta is just for sure one of my favorite things in the world. It just fits so perfectly to a creamy sauce. Low-key parsley in a pasta dish is one of my favorite things in the world. It matches so perfectly with the creaminess. Okay, and the lemon. Guys, you have to make this. I might actually have to write a new recipe for this. Because like this is one of the dishes that I often make, and every time it's different. But now that I've filmed the making of this one, I'll be able to recreate it and write it down, so you guys can join me. Broccoli! A quick update, because the kitchen is a little bit unhinged today. We are cooking a recipe for the book. So that recipe will also be the thing I'm having for lunch today. Yay! I'm sort of experimenting a little bit today, so I haven't been filming sort of the overall process, but I've been writing things down, and whatever works, works. And right now we are cooking king oyster mushrooms for a vegan scallop recipe. I will, however, bring you along for the just like arranging of the dish. So we have the vegan scallops. We're gonna put these down in the middle. Okay. This is going to be, you know, like a starter, an entree. You could also use it as a middle dish, you know, like after the main. This is very much a trial and error situation. So now we have a cashew and cucumber gazpacho. We're gonna put down around it the utmost concentration. And I have a green oil we're gonna put on top. Super nice color. Okay. I also made these tiny rolled up cucumbers that I think are just gonna look so cute. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that is cute. Lastly, I took some of the gazpacho and I turned it into a foam. You see this? Okay, foam. Foam city, baby! As a final touch. And then I'll show you the dish, promise. And this is the final dish. I'm very, very, very happy with how this looks. I got Jens to join me on this. He's working from home today, and you're gonna taste the dish. Usually I make these dishes, you know, when it's light out, so in the middle of the day when Jens is at work, so he doesn't actually taste the dishes that I create at the moment. Are you excited to finally be included?
I'm very excited. All right.
We have the foam, we have the gazpacho, we have the vegan scallops, we have the cucumber and celery.
All right, I'll try to get a little bit of... The gazpacho is really, really good.
It's good with some crunch because otherwise it's just going to be a very soft dish. So I feel like the cucumber and the celery are just necessary components a little bit.
Delicious. It's really good. It's really good, you guys.
It might not do like as lunch on its own because it is either like a middle dish, an appetizer or something, but
I'm just so happy to try one of them, like served as intended. And that's just, I eat a lot of the component parts when I come home from work. Like, ooh, this thing and this thing, this thing, but this as a full dish. Cheers, guys. And
I'll see you guys tomorrow. And it's Friday. I have been cooking all day, and I don't know like if this is something you experience as well, but when I am cooking I am not hungry and I have to force myself to eat something because I'm with the food constantly and all the time, so it doesn't really feel like I want to eat it as well. So I know for a fact that it's time for me to eat something, so I'll make something light, and then when I get hungry, inevitably in a couple of hours I'll have a light snack or something. So we're gonna make a wrap because I have a tortilla, so we might as well do that. And the thing I've been making is a beet Wellington dish for my book. It was also in the last book, but this is going to be a new recipe where I make a seitan roast and not use soy mince that I did in the previous recipe. So now we're going to do something different, and so far so good. I can show you the roast because that's what we're going to put into the tortilla. Okay, so I made this, and we're going to put this into it. Just cut it up into some smaller pieces. We're going to cut them again. But this is the seitan roast. It's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie, and it tastes so nice. I treated it like I would treat any kind of roast really, and just broiled it really fast and then just let it simmer for an hour and a half with vegetable bouillon and red wine. And I also have some chili mayo that I just whipped up really fast, and then I have just a variety of vegetables that are going bad in my fridge, so we're gonna use those. Not the most exciting lunch for sure, but if I have anything and I don't really know what to do with it, I always just put it into a tortilla, just any kind of wrap really, and then it works out great. So I'm just gonna, like, all the components are good separately, so I think they'll also just be good together. Loads of lettuce. I very rarely have lettuce in my home, I feel like, because it's a little bit difficult to find without plastic. So whenever I have lettuce, I appreciate it greatly. So we are gonna close it. Da 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 do 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 do. Oh yeah. Okay, this is for sure tiny, but it's solid. I could come up with like 10 different ways of making this more interesting. I could put fermented cabbage in this just to give it some acidity. I could put like fried onions, crispy fried onions. Refried beans would go great in this. Guac, obviously. Any kind of salsa, pico de gallo would also be amazing. And we don't have any of those things, so okay. And that's Friday. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. And if you have any additional advice, tips, comments or requests for videos in the future, leave them down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day. Take really good care of yourselves. Until next time. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green, zero-waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!